Para po sa ating one-year plan, reading the Holy Bible, ang ating pong babasahin sa ngayon ay ang Book of Luke, chapter 15, verse 1 hanggang chapter 16, verse 31. Now, the tax collector and sinners were all gathered around to hear Jesus, but the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eat with them." Then Jesus told them this parable. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulder and goes home. Then he, he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me. I have found my lost sheep." I tell you that in the same way, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteousness person who does not need repent. Or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins and loses one. Doesn't she light a lamp, sweep the house and search carefully until she finds it? And when she finds it, she calls her friends and neighbors together and say, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost coins." In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, 'Father, give me my share of the estate.' So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all, all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there were a severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his field to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach on the pods and the pigs were that on the pans that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am, starving to death. I will sit out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servant.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his servant, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandal on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and it is found." So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. "Your brother has come," he replied, "and your father had killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound." The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, "Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never give me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when you, when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes come home, you kill the fattened calf for him." "My son," the father said, "you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But who had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and he was found." Wait. Okay, we're going to chapter 16. Wait lang po, naghang siya. Jesus said to his followers, "Once there was a rich man, and he hired a manager to take care of his hundreds of ten. Later, wait lang guys, hindi mag-open yung aking kwan. Naghang siya. Medyo maliliit ang sulat nitong aking Bible. So, sa laptop po ako nagbabasa. Kaya lang yung laptop is parang nawalan yata ng connection. Bakit umiikot lang siya? Kasi sa laptop is, I mean to say sa Bible ko is super small po yung kanyang letters. Hindi ko siya masyadong mabasa. But I will try. Kasi parang matatagalan tayo pagka hihintayin natin yung sa laptop na mag-okay. So, I will try my best po na mabasa siya dito sa Bible natin. So, sa chapter 16 na po tayo. Jesus said to his followers, once there was a rich man. He hired a manager to take care of his business. Later, he learned that his manager was cheating him. So he called the manager and said to him, I have heard bad things about you. Give me a report of what you have done with my money. You can't be my manager anymore. So the manager thought to himself, what will I do? My master is taking my job away from me. I am not strong enough to dig ditches. I am too proud to beg. I know what I will do. I will do something to make friends so that when I lose my job, they will welcome me into their homes. So the manager called into each son. So the manager called into each person who owed the master some money. He asked the first one, how much do you owe my master? He answered, I owe him 100 jars of olive oil. The manager said to him, here is your bill. Hurry, sit down and make the bill. Let's write 50 jars. When the manager asked another one, how much do you owe my master? He answered, I owe him 100 measures of wheat. Then the manager said to him, here is your bill. You can make it less, write 80 measures. Later, the master told the dishonest manager that he had done a smart thing. Yes, worthy people are smarter in their business with each other than spiritual people are. I tell you, use the worthy things you have now to make friends, for later, then when these things are gone, you will be welcomed into home that lasts forever. Whoever can be trusted with small things can also be trusted with big things. Whoever is dishonest in little things will be dishonest in big things too. If you cannot be trusted with worldly riches, you will not be trusted with the true riches. And if you cannot be trusted with the things that belongs to someone else, you will not be given anything of your own. You cannot serve two masters at the same time. You will hate one master and love the other, or you will be loyal into one and not care about the other. You cannot serve God and money at the same time. The Pharisees were listening to all these things. They criticized Jesus because they all love money. Jesus said to them, "You make yourselves look good in front of people, but God knows what is really in your hearts. What people thinks is important is important is worth nothing to God." Before John the Baptizer came, people were taught the law of Moses and the writing of the prophets. But since the time of John, the good news about God's kingdom is being told, and anyone is trying hard to get in. But even the smallest part of a letter in the law cannot be changed. It will be easier for heaven and earth to pass away. Any man who devours his wife and marries another woman is guilty of adultery, and the man who marries a divorced woman is also guilty of adultery. Jesus said, "There was a rich man who always dressed in the finest clothes. He was so rich that he was able to enjoy all the best things every day. There was also a very poor man named Lazarus. Lazarus' body was covered with sores. He was often put by the rich man's gate. Lazarus wanted only to eat the scraps of food left on the floor under the rich man's table, and the dogs come and lick his sores. Later, Lazarus died. The angel took him and placed him in the arms of Abraham. The rich man also died and was buried. He was sent to the place of death and was in a great pain. He saw Abraham far away with Lazarus in his arm. He called, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me. Send Lazarus to me so that he can dip his finger in water and cool my tongue. I am suffering in this fire." But Abraham said, "My child, remember when you live, you have all the good things in life, but Lazarus have nothing but problems. Now he is comforted here, and you are suffering. Also, there's a big pair between you and us. No one can cross over to help you, and no one can come here from there." The rich man said, "Then please, Father Abraham, send Lazarus to my father's house on earth. I have 5 brothers. He could warn my brothers so that they will not come to this place of pain." But Abraham said, "They have the law of Moses and the writings of the prophets to read. Let them learn from that." The rich man said, "No, no, Father Abraham, but if someone come to them from dead, then they will decided to change their lives." But Abraham said to him, If your brothers won't listen to Moses and the prophets, they won't listen to someone who come back from dead. The word of God. Thank you so much po sa pakikinig. Maraming salamat po. Bukas pong muli. Bye-bye. God bless you and happy Wednesday. Thank you guys. Bye-bye until tomorrow.